Hello, happy holidays, and Merry Christmas. Welcome to Poor Unfortunate Podcast, where Disney is what we do. It's what we live for. We're the two besties you never knew you needed. I'm Conor Perkins.
And I'm Caroline Aimetti. This is a Disney podcast for grown-ups because we believe magic gets better with age. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to all of our returning listeners and viewers. Thanks so much for joining us once again. And welcome to any new listeners or viewers. Thank you so much for joining. Please make sure that you hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening or watching the podcast. And if you're on YouTube, opt in for notifications so you don't miss out on anything. And then once we get to the end of the episode, or right now if you're feeling it, hit 5 stars, leave a written review, and leave a comment wherever you're watching or listening to the podcast. It's one of the best things you can do to help us get seen in search results, help the podcast get pushed to other people, and we would really appreciate it. But there's another reason why you should really do it, and that's because today is Christmas Eve, which is a more important holiday here at Poor Unfortunate Podcast, and that is the birth of our Lord and Savior, Caroline Aimetti. Happy birthday, Caroline.
Thank you.
This is our first video birthday celebration with you.
Just trust and believe we have been wearing these sweaters every
For,
Christmas bonus. You just wouldn't know.
You would never know.
But we always wear these.
For the past, what is it? Is it 5 years?
Yeah. Yes.
My mom got them for us.
In 2020.
In the pandemic.
Woo!
She sent them to us. Come on, Walmart.
Come
Walmart.
on. I love this sweatshirt.
But yeah, happy birthday, Caroline. It's so...
Thank you.
This is one of my favorite things that we do.
Honestly, me too. And it's so nice to spend it with you, Conor, and with all of you listening and watching. And yeah, if you could leave a little review for a birthday present. That's honestly the only thing I actually genuinely want at this point anyway.
Yeah, that, and then send this to a friend. Send this episode or an episode that you think that said friend will like.
Yeah.
Do that as a lovely little birthday gift to Caroline.
That would be fabulous. Yes.
And Caroline, what have you been doing? How did you ring in this birthday? You've been doing it the right way, right?
Yeah. So I decided there's no better way for it to turn midnight on my birthday than to be sitting in a theater watching Wicked for Good for the 5th time.
5th time?
So
you finally caught up to me.
Yes, especially because it's coming out on Prime soon. So I was just like, I got to get one more movie theater viewing in there. So
yeah, I've got, I think 2 more in me that I got to get.
Yeah.
So Caroline spent the beginning of her birthday doing it the right way at Wicked for Good. And
Absolutely.
So now we're going to spend it with you all doing our annual holiday Christmas bonus.
And I got a special gift this year from Conor.
She got a special gift this year. Tell them what it is.
This year, for the first time in forever, we don't have to play our game of yes and no of 20 questions.
Which I know so many of our listeners
so many of you love. And you
it.
know what? I'm sorry. It's not your birthday. It's mine.
She just wants a break this year.
I just need a break. That game was pushing me to the edge of my sanity in so many different ways. And I needed a break. So we're doing something different this time. And I'm actually really excited for it. So can I tell them what we're doing?
Tell them what we're doing. Because you're kind of in this era right now.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that too. So much like we did a birthday bonus for Conor where we did a debrief of a Disney movie he's never seen. And so we did a Goofy movie. And so this time we're doing a debrief for me too of a movie I've never seen, but that Conor and I have talked about at length before I ever even saw it. And that is 2018's The Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
Yeah.
Heard of it? Maybe you don't even remember it.
It happened.
It happened. Did you see it in movie theaters?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I remember at the time being I remember seeing the trailer and looking at the aesthetic and I was like, yeah, I want to go see that. And I just never did. And it's taken me this long.
So yeah, for Caroline's birthday, we are going to be talking and doing a full debrief of Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
Yeah.
So obviously, spoilers are ahead. If you haven't watched it, it's available for you to watch on Disney Plus. So you could watch it. Or if you don't want to, you can just keep listening.
Listen to us talk about it.
But if you want to take a pause and watch it for yourself, we'll take a little break right now and we'll be right here when you come back. And welcome back. Oh, I guess people have never really seen us do that.
Yeah,
before.
we actually just sit here and wait for you to come back.
Yeah, we sit here and wait a day.
Yeah. Connor's going to give you background information as we always do. But one thing I just wanted to note before he does that is that I am approaching this from a very interesting place because I'm like having a very strange Nutcrackery Christmas this year because I watched this for the first time. I just saw with my family the Trans-Siberian Orchestra live, which was like a drug trip. And I'm also reading the
sluttiest Nutcracker.
I'm reading the sluttiest Nutcracker right now. I'm reading A Court of Sugar and Spice. And
I'm obsessed with that's what it's called.
And the craziest thing is, like, it is just so taking over my brain that, like, I'm trying to keep the versions of these characters from like this and that straight.
Let's be very clear. Clara's a child in this. Yeah. Clara's a child.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm very much in my Nutcracker era. But I've always loved it. Like there were other versions of it that I loved as a kid too. Like there was the Barbie Nutcracker. I don't know. There was something else that I used to get from Blockbuster, a version of an animated version. So yes, my Nutcracker era.
I was a big Nutcracker kid. Nutcracker. We would watch Nutcracker on Ice.
Oh my God.
Oh, Nutcracker on Ice. We had that VHS that was super good. That was on NBC when they like broadcasted on NBC.
I remember that.
So we had that. I would watch that. And then when I was in second grade, we did like a little Nutcracker in school thing.
Lucky.
And we picked parts out of a hat. We put our names in the hat for the character. And I was pissed because I was like, that is not how we should be doing this. I'm like, I want to be the Nutcracker Prince. And I didn't get it. I was furious.
When we did my church Christmas pageant, we pulled names out of the hat. And what happened was there were two categories of kids. There were like the older kids who would have the parts, and there were the younger kids who would be like the sheep. And my birthday's on Christmas, and I was right on the edge. And I'm like, I'm absolutely not going to be in the ensemble of this. Like, I'm going with the older kids. And my name gets pulled out of the hat to be Mary. And I was like, fuck yeah. And the other kid, the girl who ended up playing Gabriel, was pissed. And she was like, she is not the right age for this. But I figured it out, and I was Mary.
And that is the main character energy that we are claiming in this next year around the sun. That is the main character energy we are claiming in 2026. Yes. Be like little Caroline, making sure that she gets
Put yourself where you feel like you belong.
Yeah, go get married. Well, I put myself where I felt like I belonged, and I still got shot in the ass. So, yeah. But no, I was a huge Nutcracker kid. And this, for the past couple of years, our holiday decorations at our house have all been like,
I love that theme. I think it's so
Nutcracker, cute. Like we've got like, it's all like sugar plums, it's like land of sweets and everything.
We'll talk about it more when we talk about the movie, but that aesthetic is, it's good. It's good. Very cute.
It's good. So yeah, we're both coming from a deep love of the Nutcracker. And I remember when they announced this film, I was super duper excited for it.
This really has you and I kind of written like on paper, written all over it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and it's also like an obvious choice. Like, of course, Disney's going to tackle the Nutcracker.
Yes,
no one else has really
I agree with you.
Gone for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Gone for it.
I agree.
As we usually do, we are going to give you all some background information.
Thank you so much.
The Nutcracker in the Four Realms premiered on October 29th, 2018 in Los Angeles and was released in theaters on November 2nd, 2018 in the United States. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of people who worked on this film, and I am going to be crediting some of their other things just so that you can see that, like, serious people worked on this film. So it was directed by Lasse Hallström, who directed What's Eating Gilbert Grape, The Cider House Rules, Casanova, and almost all of the ABBA music videos. And it was directed by Joe Johnston, who did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Jumanji, and Captain America, The First Avenger. He was also an industrial light and magic designer behind the designs of the Millennium Falcon and Boba Fett. Those are our directors for this film.
Wow.
It was produced by Mark Gordon, who did The Day After Tomorrow, The Patriot, and the new Hercule Poirot film starring Kenneth Branagh, and Larry Franco, who did Batman Begins and Jurassic Park 3. It was written by Ashley Powell. This is, I think, her first screenwriting credit.
I did look into her, and I didn't see anything else. Yeah.
I didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
It's based on The Nutcracker and the Mouse King by E.T.A. Hoffman and The Nutcracker Ballet by Marius Petipa, with music by Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. The cinematography is by Linus Sandgren, who is the Academy Award-winning cinematographer for La La Land, No Time to Die, American Hustle, Saltburn, and the upcoming films of next year, Wuthering Heights and Dune Part 3.
I was wondering if you were going to say Wuthering Heights. Oh,
Mhm.
shoot. Wow.
The production design
Okay.
is by Guy Hendricks Dias, who did Inception and Elizabeth the Golden Age. The costumes are by Academy Award winner Jenny Bevan, who was the Academy Award winner for A Room with a View, Mad Max Fury Road, and Cruella. She also did costumes for 1995's Sense and Sensibility and
Love.
gave us the Drew Barrymore ball gown with wings in Ever After.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Serious people
I'm seeing.
on this film.
Okay.
The
wow.
music was adapted in part from Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker and featured new original music by James Newton Howard, who is one of my favorite composers.
Yes.
The Village, the entire Hunger Games series, Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight alongside Hans Zimmer, and Maleficent. But also, James Newton Howard and I, we share a birthday. So
Oh,
Gustavo Dudamel conducted the London Philharmonia Orchestra and appears in the film as the conductor with Lang Lang as the piano soloist.
right.
It features the original song Fall on Me, performed by Andrea Bocelli and his son, Matteo Bocelli.
There's a really
His
long-standing
son.
inside joke between us about this that we couldn't even get explained now, but it still
No,
makes me laugh.
I'm gonna take the moment. You all deserve to know. I don't know if we've explained it on the. Have we
haven't.
explained it?
I don't think so.
Okay, if we have, I apologize. But so when this song came out, I was really super into it. I was
We
like,
were
oh my
both,
God, this is beautiful.
and you introduced me to it, and we were both like, "Oh my God, this song is gorgeous."
I'm like, it's stunning. And Caroline was like, who is it by? I'm like, it's Andrea Bocelli. And it's actually his husband, who's much younger. And I'm like, it's like kind of like his nurse, I guess, sort of someone to take care of him in his old age, but they love each other.
And I
she's
just
like,
was
oh
like,
my God,
okay.
yes, beautiful. She goes home to her mother. God bless Lori Aimetti. And she was like, plays the song for her mom.
I'm like, did
And
you know that
and
like
she's like,
that's his husband?
It's a duet between him and his husband. And she goes, that's his son. And then calls me and goes, what's wrong with you? You're sick. That beautiful song is between that man and his son. So Fall on
So
Me
now
is a very
every
special.
time I see the video with it, I think about the imaginary nurse husband of Andrea Bocelli.
Lover nurse.
Lover-
Everyone deserves a lover nurse in their old age. Also known as a
The fact that
son.
you added in the nurse, I can't. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna actually lose it.
Okay, the budget for this film was $120 to $130 million, and the box office was $174 million globally. We're gonna get it together. It stars, among others, Mackenzie Foy as Clara Stahlbaum, Keira Knightley as the Sugar Plum Fairy, Jaden Fawara Knight as Captain Philip Hoffman, the Nutcracker, Helen Mirren as Mother Ginger, Morgan Freeman as Drosselmeyer, Eugenio Derbez as Hawthorne, Richard E. Grant as Shiver, Matthew McFadden as Clara's father, Benjamin
Oh
Stahlbaum.
my God, yeah.
There's a little Pride and Prejudice reunion moment kind of happening in this.
there is.
And Misty Copeland as the ballerina.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And let's talk about some reception here.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to have our own opinions about this, but
Yeah.
I think it is important to note some of the context of this as a whole.
Yeah.
So this was considered a box office flop, with Disney losing over $65 million on this film when all was said and done. It's blamed in part by its release date, which is 2 days after Halloween.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. What are
They
we thinking?
they didn't even wait until after Thanksgiving.
So silly.
A huge budget, and then just sort of like a general lack of interest in the Nutcracker concept.
I read this online too, and I have to disagree with that. There is interest. Maybe I'm talking about us, but
I think the general lack of interest also kind of goes in part with the timing of it. People aren't really looking to start
Yeah.
doing Nutcrackery type things 2 days after Halloween.
2018 was also Mary Poppins Returns around the holidays. So
yeah,
I
and I
think
did
therein
see
lies the
that.
problem. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Too live action, you know.
Yeah, I think they overstuffed the schedule.
Yeah,
I think they
so
should have
too.
held off on this one, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The film received largely negative reviews for the most part, calling out the story and Keira Knightley's performance in particular, while giving some praise to the visuals and the overall aesthetic. It currently has a 32% tomato meter score and 36% popcorn meter score
Ooh,
on Rotten
that's
Tomatoes,
bad.
With an average rating of 5.1 out of 10, Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of B+.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Well, that's an average.
Right.
Typically, Disney films seldom go under A-.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
Yeah.
We are going to go more. I have a plot synopsis that I have pulled from the Disney
Beautiful.
Wiki, and so we're just gonna go through the plot, and we're just gonna sort of talk about things like as they come up. So first, initial thoughts, impressions. What did you think?
I put this on the other day. I started it the other day. I was like in a Christmassy mood. My appetizer was Muppet Christmas Carol, and then I was like, I'm gonna roll into Nutcracker in the Four Realms after this. I'm
That's
in
a
a Christmassy
choice.
mood. That was a choice.
It's a choice. You needed to reverse it.
Yeah. I think I am a little bit influenced by when I hear like, scores in the 30s. I'm not sitting here saying that's incorrect at all. It's not. However, I think I'm just like, I guess this comes from me being I'm a big Nutcracker fan. I really enjoy Christmas material that is more, I guess, like classical in nature. Like, I don't need everything to be like Frosty and Santa. Like, I'm usually looking for a little something else. And so when this opened and I saw these visuals, I was like, I'm gonna like this. And also like Mackenzie Foy, like I was like, I think she's a great Clara.
I think she's a fantastic Clara.
Yeah.
Also, her dialect work is amazing.
She sounds excellent.
I did
No, I
not
thought
know
she
that
was British.
I thought
Yeah,
she was
I had
British
no
as
idea.
well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, more of that, please. We can do British.
We can. Thank you, Mackenzie, for holding it down.
Thank you.
I guess, first of all, if we're talking about overall, one of the things that I take issue with is like, yes, we need to say Nutcracker in the title so people know what it is. But my God, the Nutcracker was sidelined majorly. And I remember seeing the promotional stuff for this back in 2018. And I'm like, oh, like, they're the same age. We're going to do a little... I get that she's a child, but I'm like, we're going to do a little bit of like a childlike romance. Because yes, in the ballet, he can be older and she's younger and he's just like more of her guide. And, that's that.
I always thought that there was
me too,
a
but
vibe.
I know that I'm me, and I think there should always be a vibe between them.
Yeah, I always
and
think
so
that
then I
there's a
saw these two
vibe.
actors, and I'm like, oh, nice. Like we're gonna have these two people who are the same age. We're gonna have a vibe.
And I thought
We
the
didn't do
chemistry was
that.
like
It was
good.
good.
It was
But we just
good.
he didn't get developed enough.
No, there wasn't enough for him.
I couldn't tell you one thing about him.
It felt like they didn't want to lean into the romance aspect, but there is a
Yeah.
level of
But
romance.
There
not,
is.
like not like lowercase r romance, but like capital R romance, like,
Right.
of the movement, like
Exactly.
that is involved in
And
the
we're
Nutcracker.
sampling pieces from the Tchaikovsky score. Like like you said, it's inherently romantic. But I just think overall too, I think that applies to like, my God, this cast is so stacked. But that's what you did to Morgan Freeman? How dare? And Drosselmeyer is such an interesting character.
That has always been what I have aspired to be as an uncle and godfather. I'm like, give me an eye patch, give me a cape, let me have fantastic semi-magical
Parties and inventions.
and toys and inventions, like absolutely. And okay, you know what? We're just now gonna start going into it
Okay.
because because we're kind of getting there. But
And not to spoil my book that I'm reading, but like it gets revealed very early on. If you're trying to read A Court of Sugar and Spice, cover your ears. And I'm saying you should read it. I think there's just a lot to be mined in that character because he's the villain in that. And I think it's possible because he's an interesting dude.
yes, there's a
There's a
level of
weirdness, like there's an
darkness
edge
and
to
weirdness.
him.
He has
Yeah.
an eye patch.
He has an eye patch and he has huge parties, but he's like a reclusive like inventor. Like, tell me more.
Slash bachelor.
Bachelor.
Gay.
Gay.
All right, so let's dive into the plot synopsis. So, in Victorian England, as the residents of London prepare for Christmas Eve, Benjamin Stahlbaum gives his children Louise, Clara, and Fritz Christmas presents to fulfill his wife Marie's dying wish. Clara receives a handcrafted egg-shaped box, which she is unable to unlock. In the package, she discovers a note from Marie that states that the inside of the egg is all she would ever need. So we've got this, and I'm just going to say right off the bat, I was really kind of upset with the way that this film opened. and all of the use of the heavy CGI in the
I was going to
streets
say
of
the
London.
same thing. The CGI people.
The CGI people, because
Yes.
here's the thing. I saw this quote from Alonso Duralde, who was writing for The Wrap, in his review of it. And he said, quote, "The child travels to a magical land and learns thing trope has been the basis of many beloved stories, from The Wizard of Oz to The Phantom Tollbooth to The Chronicles of Narnia. But it's not a foolproof device, particularly when the magical land in question never makes much narrative sense. Besides, how can the Four Realms be magical when the London where Clara already lives is so obviously a cartoon? Both the real world and the fake one are ugly, overdone, and lacking any visual connection to gravity, let alone reality." Now, I don't agree with all of this, but I can't see anyone who would not fault it, where it's like, the reason that a child would need to escape to a magical world is because the one that they're currently living in is lacking, or from their perspective, it is lacking. And so they need to go somewhere else to learn things that then they can bring back and see their world in a different way. And we know that a magical world, that's the land of flowers, the land of sweets, the land of amusements, and the land of snowflakes. We know we're going to be CGI heavy in that world.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not hyper realistic in the real world? And I think to open with CGI was just such a waste. I know it's because they wanted to give us some of the music and the sweeping shots of London and everything, but I don't think that really helps where Clara is supposed to be. She's supposed to feel like her world is small and stifled, and I don't think we needed to see as much of London as we needed to like feel more like Clara. I like that we got the little like introduction of her as an inventor in the attic. We got to see a little mouse,
I
little
forgot
nods
about
here
that
and
part.
there.
Oops. Yeah. The CGI of it all and the tone. It's so funny. This feels to me, in a way, I feel like the flop of this like marked the end of this era of like the 2010s, where a lot of family oriented, fantastical period pieces looked exactly
the
like
same.
this. It was all feeling like it was coming down from
the Tim Burton
Potter
Alice
World,
in Wonderland,
the Tim Burton Alice, maybe a little bit of Narnia. All of those films are like, studios were like, that was a success. We need these family-friendly sweeping tales of like a period setting, and then the main character goes to this fantasy world. And this feels like the end of that in a way, because I can't really name a lot after this that feel like they are part of that lineage. And it was just so interesting because I was like, yeah, this is what and I would always get drawn in by these because I'm a big period piece kind of gal. And I was like, yeah, I remember when so many movies looked like this. And now, as much as I love it, as much as I love like, the aesthetic of Drosselmeyer's Party, the beginning, like you said, in the CGI of it all makes me remember why it needed to be over.
Yeah, the CGI was just like really rough. And I was just, it was so disheartening because I'm like, Clara's house, the interior, the production design of it all, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I saw there was like a darkness to it. Like things were kind of muted. There was a lot of shadow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all of those things are present already in terms of, making us feel like Clara, feeling like she's kind of overshadowed by this feeling of grief at the passing of her mother. All of that's there. And I think it would have been so much stronger to just like put us there and then let the big sweeping stuff, let that be in the fantasy world. We don't need that in London. Or maybe we get that in London when she comes back out of it. She's finally able to see her world a little bit clearer. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this later as well, but when she comes back, I think that's part of the issue as well. Yes, I understand part of it is like the Oz of it all, of like, you had it within you the whole time. And it's so obvious that it's like, yes, of course, that's what they're trying to say. But beyond that, I'm kind of like, what changed for her in this journey? I guess she came back and she saw her father in a new light, but I don't really know why. So just, I don't know, what she got out of this whole adventure was lacking for me.
So after that, we go to the Christmas Eve ball. The family heads to Christmas Eve ball, which is hosted by the children's godfather and skilled engineer Drosselmeyer. Refusing to dance with Benjamin, Clara scurries from the crowd to ask Drosselmeyer how to unlock her egg. He then reveals to her that it was a creation of his that he gifted to Marie when she was younger, and that her wish was to bestow the gift to Clara. So we get this really interesting. There's also this owl.
There's just this owl.
There's just this owl.
Yeah.
That's there.
Mhm.
I do enjoy that they have given Clara's mother the name Marie, because Marie and Clara are both names that are used interchangeably in the Nutcracker story. So you can go see a ballet and sometimes Clara is actually referred to as Marie, or there's short
And you
stories
can
where
pretend that
sometimes
it's
she's
the prequel
Marie.
story of her mother.
Yeah.
That's cute.
There's these scenes of the young girl sort of like pushing against the boundaries of the world that she has inherited. It's hard to not make them all feel the same. Like so much of what I was seeing in this was the scenes with Alice in the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland.
Some of the shots were like the same.
And I'm just like, how is Clara not Alice? I'm like, that's what I
Right.
want to know. And she was an
Right.
inventor. I'm like, that's great. But you also just, like Disney, you recently just gave all the invention stuff to Belle
Belle.
in Beauty and the Beast. So I'm like, it doesn't really feel like Clara is her own figure. And this
I
scene
think
with
she has so much
Drosselmeyer,
potential to
she
be,
does.
you know?
She absolutely does. And I think everything that Mackenzie Foy is doing, she's trying to find that. She's trying to show us that. But I think it's just sort of like baked into the script that there's a lot of these tropes that Disney has been sort of like putting into the mill and like churning out over and over again in these films. And Claire has become this sort of like amalgamation of like a little bit of Alice, a little bit of Belle. And it's like, yeah, but who is Clara? And this scene with Drosselmeyer is our opportunity, I think, to see who she is.
And she's got a really, this is lower on the importance scale, but she's got a really beautiful, potentially iconic look.
Costume. That
The costume is perfect.
Gorgeous. That purple.
Dress, that's why when you said that the designer did Drew Barrymore's dress in Ever After,
In
I'm
Ever
like,
After. That is one of the, what dress changed your brain chemistry?
Yes.
Like that is one of those dresses.
This has potential.
It
I
does.
love this dress.
There's actually many costumes in this film that are
beautiful.
Actually, a lot of Clara's looks in general. The ballet look
The ballet
is
look, like the
incredible.
coronation, whatever that was at the end,
At the
beautiful.
end is beautiful. But I also love her in the soldier outfit with
Beautiful.
the ponytail. I'm like,
Love.
This is, her looks are fantastic.
Her looks are great. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? It just felt like we had a bunch of pieces. We had an actor who could do it. We had costumes who knew what they were doing. We had so many things all working together.
We had fantastic source material that, just like other successful, and I understand this is live action, but other successful films such as The Swan Princess, such as Sleeping Beauty, can be based on these classical ballet scores and just be really good. It's good source material.
We had all of these people ready to rise to this character
Yeah.
and doing that work, but we just didn't have that character fully formed.
Yeah.
Which, and see, you know what? I don't even fully blame the screenwriter, because this feels like Disney. This feels like producing.
Well, I did wonder when I read a little bit about reshoots happening. I'm like, it feels like something was going on behind the scenes that we might not know about, of just like the story and the idea and the arc of this film getting messed with a little bit. And I'm wondering if that's part of what this is.
I would not be surprised if maybe this was more of a romance and then they took the turn to try and make it something else. And maybe it strips of it, because if Clara was a romantic, that is actually something that we're missing from these heroines of this in the live action period of Disney in this time. We don't have young heroines who really fall in love in this way.
And I understand that I'm always very pro romance, but I think it would make sense for her story of like, she always felt like her mother really understood her and she understood her mother. So it would be her journey of finding that maybe you can find that in another person, someone who really understands you. And I'm wondering if, because of the title of this movie, I'm like, if this had been successful, would this have been the beginning of a saga of like we see Clara age and then it's like the Nutcracker and this, the Nutcracker and that. Like that's what it feels like to me almost, of like this was supposed to be the beginning of something and it never happened.
So returning to the ballroom, Clara gets scolded by Benjamin, her father, for not dancing with him. She calls him self-absorbed and obsessed with his family's image since Marie's passing, a scene that plays out very similarly to Alice and her mother at the like engagement party, after which Drosselmeyer announces it being time for children to receive their gifts. First off, this ballroom put me there. I want Drosselmeyer's house.
You know, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, drop me inside the aesthetic of this ball, because this is the vibe.
The orchestra placed inside the swan carriage thing, a stage with like classic scenography.
Yeah, this is my
dream Christmas party.
This is my dream Christmas aesthetic. This is it.
It's so
that's why we started in such a great place. I was just like, yes, the vibe is right, baby. Like
I know.
Lush, luxurious, classical Christmas. Yeah.
And listen, we're going to probably go in pretty hard on this film if we haven't already. But I will say, having watched this now, I think 3 times in my life, it was not as bad as I remember it being the first time.
It's not like it's the rating it has online is like, this is absolute garbage. This is just like forgettable. It's just forgettable and not a fleshed out story is what it is.
Yes.
Which is upsetting again when the source material has so much potential. Yeah.
That's the thing of this film. The frustration that I have for it is the wasted potential.
Yeah.
The wasted potential of the source material and the wasted potential of all of these incredible people and artists who are working on this film.
100%.
It just feels like studio
None of these iconic award-winning actors are used to their potential, like even close to like half of their potential. And that is a crime. It's a crime.
No. So Clara goes to receive her gift. She goes outside to this like beautiful Christmas tree, and they do the thing where she finds the string with her name on it signifying her gift, and she follows the string all throughout the house.
I don't want to go to the realms. I want to stay here. But I guess again, maybe that is in the source as well, because Drosselmeyer's Christmas party is always lit.
So as part of like Marie's dying wish, he's sending Clara into the realms that Marie escaped to in her childhood and in her life.
Yeah, a little unclear, but we'll talk about that later too.
So this scene is actually like, I dig this.
Yeah.
Like she goes through this hallway and the wallpaper has the owls and then the owls shift to mice.
Yeah.
Super duper cool.
Yeah.
And then she keeps following the string until she is in the Christmas tree forest. And she like comes out of
still beautiful.
Very beautiful. She comes out of like sort of like an uprooted tree. Like she's coming out of like the roots of a tree. So she is now in the four realms. She's in this Christmas tree forest in a parallel world where she sees the key that unlocks this egg that her mother left her. But before she can grab it inside this like Christmas tree that's sort of like illuminated by lights, fairies, fireflies, unclear.
That we never see again.
We never see them again. A mouse snatches it, and unable to reach him because he crosses a little frozen lake, Clara approaches Captain Philip Hoffman, who is a nutcracker charged with guarding the entrance to the fourth realm.
Okay, wait. I just thought of
He's
something.
Like frozen.
Okay. Because I was going to say, listen, part of the fun, I understand that the fun of of adapting some of these stories is like, what's the new way of looking at this? But I'm like, a lot of the fun of the Nutcracker is that in her world, he's a nutcracker. And in this world, he is her friend. But we didn't see him in the real world.
In
he
a
was there?
hot split second.
Stop. No.
Fritz receives a nutcracker soldier and comes up to it, and he's just like
putting
it in.
You're right.
He's putting it in Clara's face. And if the lighting is a little bit strange. So you can't really tell that it's like it is a black nutcracker.
Okay.
That is our only clue.
Damn, right. I forgot about that. Darn.
But the nutcracker is gifted to Fritz, not
right. I was going to say it's not Clara's. And also there's no establishing at any point the connection between like a la, any of these stories, but like Wizard of Oz, the movie, things from the real world being different versions in the fantasy world. So I guess it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, we're still calling this the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
And he's never really a Nutcracker. But okay. Sorry.
Yeah, she
but
calls
just,
him
it's
a
like,
Nutcracker
what?
soldier, and that's the only way that we would know that he is a Nutcracker soldier.
Yeah, he just looks like a soldier. And he has like a lip liner on that I'm like, is it supposed to allude to like a Nutcracker's mouth? I don't know.
So Captain Philip Hoffman, he identifies Clara as a princess and follows her orders when she demands that he lead her across the bridge into the fourth realm where the mouse ran off with the key. They are unable to obtain the key from the mouse once they get into the fourth realm, which is like a creepy, sort of like broken down, like haunted looking forest. And they get chased away by the Mouse King, which is realized by all of these mice in the realm sort of like coming together to create this sort of like beast figure.
Cool concept.
Very cool concept. I really liked the way that was realized.
Yeah.
And I was reading some stuff about like how
what it's
they arrived at that because they were like,
yeah.
in some of those stories, the Mouse King is identified as having like 7 to 9 heads and things like that.
Right.
Like, how do we do that and not make
That's
it
fun.
terrifying, but still scary and intimidating? And I'm like, I think they did a really good job because also I'm like when the thing is holding her and the mice are just like running over her, it was still creepy.
Like, at first, especially because at first, never having seen this, I fully expected a la the original that he was gonna this formation of mice was gonna be the villain in some way.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, that's what's interesting. I don't need everything to be exactly the same. However, I don't know. I feel like that was another thing that was like established in a cool way and then went nowhere. Like, yes, they end the mice / rat king, whatever, ended up being super helpful and heroic in some ways, but it's this concept that then we just ditched.
There's a lot of like really great ideas that
and they go nowhere.
That like
nowhere.
We're like throw this in this and I'm like no, these are great, but let's follow the thread and how are they connecting back to one another? And if they're not connecting back to one another, maybe we don't need to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
But then we also get to see this like really creepy like Mother Ginger
horrifying,
like
nightmare
metal thing.
Hated it. So scary.
Also,
hated.
I thought it was like kind of cool.
Oh,
I was like,
no, like loved, but hated because I was like, this is horrifying.
It's horrifying.
It's terrifying. But
I'm like, this is another really cool way of realizing the Mother Ginger character from the ballet, where all of the children come out of like under her skirts. And
so
everything.
smart.
Super
Yeah. Again,
cool.
we've got good ideas.
Yeah,
like,
it's a Mother Ginger metal big top.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
So Clara and Captain Philip, they managed to get away from this Mouse King conglomeration of mice and escape the fourth realm, but they can't get the key. They weren't able to get the key. So now she's like, I don't really know what to do. And he's like, we're going to go to the palace and we're going to, see what's up. So he guides her to the palace where she meets the 3 regents of each land. So we've got Shiver, who is the regent of the land of snowflakes. We have Hawthorn, who's the regent of the land of flowers. And we have the Sugar Plum Fairy, who is the regent of the land of sweets.
And at this point, I'm still with it.
Yeah,
I'm like
absolutely.
trying to track when I lost it, and I was still with it at this point.
The costumes are super awesome.
They're
and
what
the
you would
makeup is really
want. They're what you would
cool.
want in this like fantasy, sweetsy, wintry. Yes, all good, good. Yeah.
So the regents tell Clara that they are at war with the land of amusements, which is now only referred to as the fourth realm. And Clara imparts the information that the people have not received, that her mother, Queen Marie, has passed, which they all sort of are devastated by because they have been anxiously awaiting for her to return to their world. So Clara now is being tasked with being the new leader, the new queen of the land. And so she watches a ballet that tells the story of their world's creation. And the Sugar Plum Fairy, regent of the land of sweets, she explains to Clara that Marie created this world as a young girl, and that and then later in the film clarifies that like she animated everyone with a machine that can turn toys into real people. And so
which should have been more clear.
Yeah, it wasn't super clear that like the Sugar Plum Fairy was a
this
toy.
It wasn't. It wasn't clear that it's like everything that has manifested here was like a toy or like a sweet or a something from her world, you
Because
know?
and I think it's because some of the like organic stuff feels so organic. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, it would be
Yeah.
interesting if it like she took a flower and then the flower
Like
got
almost like
zapped into this thing.
yes, almost like Honey I Shrunk the Kids almost,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of it's a really interesting concept, but I'm like, I think I need it
Yeah.
introduced a little bit sooner.
Yeah. Sooner for sure. Also, she eats her hair, which is
She eats her
fucking
hair.
hilarious.
Let's talk about the ballet.
Yes.
This is, I think, like the strongest portion, I think, like of the film in general for me.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Because it is they've realized kind of like the perfect homage in film to
Right.
the Nutcracker ballet.
Right.
And it starts with even referencing other things that Disney has done with the Nutcracker, where we see the conductor walk out and in silhouette, which is a reference to Fantasia, where they do the Nutcracker suite.
Yeah.
And it's animated. So I'm like, we've got references to Disney and the Nutcracker. It's so smart. And then you have Misty Copeland, who
oh
is
my God.
just one of the most beautiful performers, just performers in general that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
The aesthetic of the dance, of the stage that she's dancing on, creating the flowers and the snowflakes and the sweets under her feet as she's on point.
It's a great device for giving us backstory on this because this is a pretty short, for what we're trying to do here, this is too short of a film. And I think even more so, this could have provided some actual backstory for us of like, how did it, or I don't know, how it was created, how the land was created, how it all fell apart. Like,
right. Like that's kind of the thing is like, we get sort of the bare bones of it where it's like Mother Ginger, she wanted to rule the realms for herself, like that sort of stuff. But it's just sort of like your mother created this world. And I'm like, no one's asking how.
Right. Right.
Clara also learns that time moves differently in this world when Sugar Plum takes her to the clock and turns out that they are like inside the clock of Drosselmeyer's home.
Right.
She gets this little moment where she sees her father sitting in the corner sad, and it's kind of like a moment where we see, I'm like, okay, here we're trying to track this character arc moment of her having more sympathy and patience with her father, that other people, you know, experience grief differently. There's just like so many things that she has to like,
and I'm like, is
explore,
that her
but also
lesson?
not
Like,
enough.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Sugar Plum Fairy's costume, her aesthetic.
I mean,
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Like I remember when the first images for this film came out and I saw the 3 regions and I was like, this is the shit.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, if I was younger, I would want a doll of the Sugar Plum Fairy. I mean, she looks amazing.
Until you see the Sugar Plum Fairy in action and the character and some of the choices that happen, it's not all meshing together. The script, the character, the realization, maybe the direction as well. It's just she feels very outside of even this world that we've created in a way that like Shiver, Mother Ginger, and Hawthorne feel very grounded.
More grounded, yeah.
In this world, Sugar Plum Fairy feels like she's doing something else, which maybe that is intentional. Maybe that is a choice to like make her feel that. But maybe there's another way that we could have done it.
I think the trap is almost that the Sugar Plum Fairy in the ballet is like the big featured, like she's like the ultimate like princess role of the ballet. And I understand. Sorry, this is a spoiler jumping ahead into the plot, which we're going to talk about in a moment anyway. But like turning her into the villain, I get it. You want to do a bold change. You want to make the big princess character into the villain. Fine.
And I think there is the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy is always like a little bit eerie, the music itself. So I'm like, okay, I can see where you're pulling from to try and do that.
Yeah. I just think the pre-villain Sugar Plum we get needs to be so much more alluring. Like she needs to be like the ultimate, like you just want to like be around her. You want to talk to her. You want to like, she's got to have that pull. And that's not what this character was.
Yeah, she was very saccharine, like from the beginning, which I'm like, I get where those...
She's from the land of sweets. Like, I kind of get it, but it's like, I
get
don't
where those
know.
instincts are coming from, but I'm like, the Sugar Plum Fairy needs to be like a sweet that you want another
like Queen
hit of
Frostine.
again and again.
She needs
and
to be
again.
like Queen Frostine.
Yeah,
You know?
where like there's a little bit of mystery to her, something like that. And she can certainly be sweet, but it felt like almost Sugar Plum was trying too hard, which I mean, again,
I think then you're supposed to be like, oh, I see it in hindsight that she was trying too hard because she's evil. But
or she's trying too hard because she's evil, or she has attachment issues, and that's what got her into this situation in the first place. But I'm just like, I don't think that's the strongest choice for Sugar Plum Fairy. And I think
that's the strong choice for her if her arc doesn't end up being the villain. If you want to just have her be this like comical, sweetie girl, I'm down with it. But then she can't become the villain.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So after the ballet, Clara goes with Sugar Plum Fairy, and Sugar Plum Fairy explains that her mother used this device that would turn toys into real life people, and that they can use it to defend the other three realms against Mother Ginger, the regent of the fourth realm, who is set upon claiming all of the realms for herself. Clara notices that the keyhole that runs the machine matches the one of her egg and is missing, and that's the only thing that's keeping them from using this machine. So she's like, okay, we need to go get this key, not just for my egg, but for this machine to save the world. So in order to do that, she's got to go to the fourth realm. She and her soldiers, she assembles them all.
Suddenly she knows how to lead a regiment. She's suddenly just like full
and ride a horse.
She's
so she
incredible.
leads them all across the bridge, which another thing, this palace, I love the palace.
Yeah, I know.
It's a different kind of it's something new. Like that, I think that's also what I look for in like a fantasy castle. I'm looking for something new, and like having all of the Russian influence to it, but then also that it is on this like peak of
the water flowing,
this perpetual waterfall.
Cool.
So Clara, she leads this regiment over into the fourth realm.
And I think this was the point where I was like, oh, because I checked the time left, and I was like, crap. I literally think the rest of this movie is just going to be about the engine and the key. And that just feels a little meh to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. It is a major conflict. It's the realms against each other going to war. Yet at the same time, it just felt so small. Get the key feels so small to me.
And I think that's also the trap of it. You're calling it Nutcracker in the Four Realms, but
it's not no.
She spends most of her time either in the castle or in the land of amusements in the fourth realm.
This isn't a journey through all four realms. It's just like, no.
We only see her visit the land of snowflakes, the land of flowers, and the land of sweets
at the end, in that
in a quick little montage moment during the ballet where it's like, oh, she's like getting her presentation, but they're really like blink and you miss it sort of moments.
Oh my God!
She's in a hot air balloon.
She gets presented.
Mm-hmm.
Lost that.
That's all happening during the ballet too.
That's a huge part of the story that would make this feel bigger, which is like she's getting presented as the new queen of all four realms. Like, what is that like? And like,
but they smashed that into
they made that like
ballet
a montage. That is so strange.
Yeah.
Just like at the I noticed, and you know what, that happened so fast I didn't even clock it. But at the end, she had this very, very 2-second long coronation moment. And I was kind of just like, well, what happened there?
And then she leaves.
She leaves.
And then she's like, bye. Thanks for the kingdom. Bye-bye. You know the trauma that you have of my mom leaving you and then going off and dying?
I'm going to go ahead and do that.
I'm going to go ahead and do that for you real quick. All right, so they go over into the fourth realm. They have this like creepy battle
horrendous
in the woods.
Nope. Everything that I hate about Alice in Wonderland was starting to happen in this, and I was like, oh no. No.
We get mouse rinks.
Mouse rinks.
Mouse rinks.
And I'm kind of just like, why?
This is the name of the mouse.
Honestly, like, why can't he be the Mouse King and then he makes a formation of a giant mouse? But like, why couldn't he just be called the Mouse King? I don't know. Because again, why was that thing called the Mouse King? He's not the king. There is a queen. He's not the the king.
And like
My
his
God.
name wasn't even Mouse Rex, which I'd be like, oh,
No.
Mouse Rex,
Mouse
being
Rick's king.
being
Yeah.
king.
No,
But no, it's like Mouse
Mouse-o-Rinks.
Ricks. It's like Mouse
but
Ricks or something. It's
Why is
weird.
he the mouse? Why is that formation of mice the mouse king? He's not the king. There's a clear structure of leadership here. He's not a king in any way, shape, or form. Why are they calling him
they
that?
kind of feel like more of like a commune.
The mouse mob.
They're doing this sort of like battle in the forest, in the mist and everything. And Clara, continuing to look for the key, sees that the key goes into the creepy, rundown land of amusements of all these like rusted amusement rides and carnival stuff.
Which I don't dislike, but again, it's kind of an overdone aesthetic. The broken down carnival, I've kind of seen it before. It doesn't feel super creative.
And I'm
to
also
me.
just like, how did it all get broken down?
Right, because it's just like supplies have been cut off to that realm, I suppose.
Of magic? Who knows?
Who knows?
What keeps the things oiled and clean?
And how did Mother Ginger get her face cracked?
Her face crack?
Yeah.
Face crack of the century.
Yeah.
So Clara goes into the Mother Ginger big top. She sees the like Punchinella
Yeah.
bloop 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 funny clown
Nightmare.
things.
Nightmare
Fuel.
Uh,
She goes like up this little staircase thing.
That thing was
seated
cool.
Invention.
Would ride
I'm like,
it.
I
Looks
would
fun.
ride it. Would ride. And then she comes face to face with Mother Ginger. So she sees Mother Ginger. Mother Ginger has the key. And they sort of have this little like face-off moment. And then Philip comes in, causes a distraction. She grabs the key and hustles her ass out of there from
I don't
Mother
even know
Ginger.
how that happened. My mind wandered a little bit. I was like, oh, she's out with the key. Okay.
It's literally Mother Ginger. Like Philip comes in, he starts battling the clowns on the ground floor. Mother Ginger looks away. She grabs the key and then she slams herself into the little swirly seat, and then she goes all the way back down. They run out, and
There
Mother
were too
Ginger
many
is like,
battle sequences in this, and I get that's actually in the source material, but for me, it was in favor of plot development. So it was just like half of the movie, I felt like I was watching sword fights, and I just not interested in that.
yeah, I almost kind of wish that like she didn't go into that she hadn't already been in the fourth realm.
Agree.
That if this was the first time, like if when she was with the Nutcracker, he took her straight to the palace, and we
Yes,
skipped
we
the
didn't
first
need
time.
any of the rest of it anyway. Completely agree. Yes. And I almost wish that then we could cut out these little clowny guys. It would almost be cooler if she's walking. I mean, even though I do love the gigantic Mother Ginger thing and I wouldn't trade it, if it's like Mother Ginger is just like in the woods and they just like come face to face, like two women just like walking on foot. And it's like she's surprised to just like see her walking around like a normal person, like so that it could be more of a personal.
That feels very
moment.
Oz the Great and Powerful too. Where it's like you think that the bad witch is Glinda and meet her in the graveyard and everything.
Yes.
These are all
Sorry, I forgot to mention that film at the
connected.
beginning too, of like all the things that feel like they're in the same line. Oz the Great and Powerful is in this line too.
Yeah. Okay, so they escape from Mother Ginger, and Clara and Philip, they go off, and she's got her key, and she opens up her egg, and it turns out that it is a music box, and it's disappointing to her, and it's playing the sort of like love theme between the Nutcracker.
Love theme.
It's the duet that
I love that music.
the Nutcracker and Clara dance after he's been transformed into the prince.
Yeah, like this is a Disney
He's
movie.
a prince.
I was gonna say it's a Disney
It's the
movie where we
Nutcracker
have a
prince.
prince transformation, and we're like, nah, let's not. Okay, what? Okay.
So Clara's disappointed. She's like, I don't give a fuck about this key anymore. Just take it back to Sugar Plum and everything. And Philip's like, no, you should come back too and everything. And Clara's just feeling all down about
She's
herself.
constantly like, I'm kind of gonna leave all the time.
Yeah, it's constantly kind of gonna leave. It's constantly, I'm a piece of shit. It's constantly, I'm not my mother.
Which is okay. Like, then we really just have to like fully make that her thing, because then she's way too confident leading these troops.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, you were acting very much like a queen. It was working for me. It seems like you can do it. But her whole thing is like, I can't, I'm not my mother. But she's doing it.
Yeah. That arc wasn't mapped.
Yeah.
which needed to be if that's the theme, which it is the theme that they're going for of her lesson to learn that like
you have everything
she
in
is
you.
enough. Yeah,
and,
you have
and your
everything.
mother always was like, you are the greatest thing ever. Like, yeah.
So she goes back to the castle, gives the key to Sugar Plum Fairy, who uses the machine to turn some tin soldiers into life-size ones that will obey her every command because they don't have anything in them. I thought that was an interesting line that Philip points out. He's like,
they're hollow.
He's like, they're made of tin, they're hollow. And she's like, exactly, they'll do everything I want. And they'll obey her commands, including the one to attack the fourth realm.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get the reveal that Sugar Plum is actually the one who wants to rule the realms.
And why is not very, the why behind that is not very solid to me. It's just like, I miss Marie. She told us to play nice and I don't want to. It's just.
It seems like it's coming from a place of Sugar Plum believed in Marie with everything and she was abandoned and she was like, I don't want to follow any of the rules. I don't want to be beholden to any leader because they just let you down. So I'm going to be
when you describe it that way, I'm like, that's solid. But it wasn't clear.
I know. It
just felt like chaotic for no reason.
Well, because also the script has really weird things happening that feel very out of place where she's like, hello, boys.
No,
and
I was just going to say, what? And she's constantly like.
She actually says the line like, she says, hello,
like,
boys. And then she was like, a man in uniform. And these like boys, that. She refers to them as boys
weird.
twice.
It's
and I'm
so
like,
strange.
It's very out of place, even in this world.
The villain who says that is a villain who was like jilted by a lover or something. And that's not her.
I'm like, is she attracted to these tin soldiers?
Like she was just constantly like sexualizing them in a weird way. It was so strange.
Also, she's a Sugar Plum Fairy and she only flies 2 times.
Yeah,
and
when she opened up her wings, I was like, oh, right.
So Sugar Plum reveals that the machine can also turn this world's people back into toys and that she intends to do that to the other regions and that she had lied about Mother Ginger.
But they're not. They don't look like toys. Okay.
And Mother Ginger, with her people of the Land of Amusements, had resisted against Sugar Plum Fairy's plan. And that's why she made sure that she was on the outs. Mm-hmm. Clara is like, this shit ain't happening. This is fucked. And Sugar Plum Fairy is like, fine, I'll throw you in prison. So she puts Clara, Philip, Shiver, and Hawthorne into prison.
Which is like the attic. It's like very beautiful room. It's not a bad
room. Beautiful ver.
And this could have been the moment before Shivers, whatever, and Hawthorne arrive. This could have been, again, even if we're not going to lean full-fledged romance, this could have been a really beautiful connection scene between Philip and Clara being like, it's us, we're going to do this together, like, I got you.
But now we've got these 2 older men who are also present for it. And it's just kind of like, nah.
Yeah.
/ also, I think they wanted to not even have that be in our minds, so they give the moment, like, if it's not all of them, it's Clara by herself. And that's when Clara opens her music box again and she discovers that the top flips to reveal a mirror illustrating that all she needed was herself, which we all knew from the get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she and the other prisoners escape using physics. Cool scene. And I'm like,
my brain turned off. I'm like, yeah, they got out. I don't know. It's taking too long. There's no plot. I don't care about these action sequences. Please, my mind wandered. I don't even know what I was thinking about.
So they're escaping prison and she's like, I gotta stop this. I gotta set this right. I gotta stop Sugar Plum. And so she is trying to make her way back into the room where Sugar Plum's making all this shit. Meanwhile, Mother Ginger has sent the big mouse,
get him a rinky dinky dink mouse a ring.
Yeah, Mousy. She sent Mousy over to the castle to be like, this shit's gonna go down. Keep an eye on it. And now Philip's like, oh, Mousy, you're my friend. And he's like,
the romance was truly between the two of them. The way that Mouselinks like cuddles him at the end of the movie, I was like, they're in love.
They're in love.
They're in love.
Which, you know.
Sure. I mean, if you want to give me that version of the story, the Mouse King and the Nutcracker.
Two of the Sluttiest Nutcracker.
It would never work that way. The mice in this book are disgusting.
Oh.
And the Nutcracker is beyond horny for Louisa, so it's never going to happen for
Louisa?
Yes.
Never heard of her.
The sister.
Oh.
Clara is busy with the Sugar Plum Fairy, but I digress.
Sugar Plum Fairy's a man?
But he is very, very bi.
Who does he get with?
Everybody. Well, I'm only halfway through the book, so
okay.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But he tells her about like he's been with everybody. He has pink hair. He has black nails. Like it's
This book is wild.
So all this to say, I'm very much not against people taking these established characters and doing something new, but you got to build it for me, and I will come. I mean, that sounded wrong.
Thank you for joining us on Poor Unfortunate Podcast.
I want to go
This is our final episode.
Get me out of here. Okay.
I cannot believe that happened.
I can't go on. Okay. I can't go on. My brain is nutcrackered out. Okay. I just don't know what's going on anymore. Oh God. Okay. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is do something different with these characters. I am not against that, but you have to you got to have some character development behind it. I got to know who they are.
Okay, so Mousy is like, okay, gets Mother Ginger and Sugar Plum Fairy are preparing for battle. Sugar Plum's invading with all of the tin soldiers, and Mother Ginger has all of her mice.
Hair, and of course she's become a mad ruler now because her hair is a mess. Also, I'm like, this woman would never have a hair out of place, but okay.
Never, but
sure.
Whatever. So the Land of Amusements, the people of the Land of Amusements are fighting them off. Meanwhile, Clara, she is sneaking back into the machine room. She stops the factory flow with water.
Brain turned off. I don't know what was happening.
Surprise! Mother Ginger was hiding in one of the little Russian doll type.
Oh my God!
Characters.
When Helen Mirren pops out of that, I was like, oh my God! Stop doing this to Helen Mirren, please. The way that she had to jump.
But also, Mother Ginger, I love Mother Ginger. I mean, she was badass. The makeup was sick.
The outfit is amazing. The vest and the pants, the whip.
The whip was super cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was into Mother Ginger.
Mother Ginger, yes, that sounds exactly
that's
right.
Great.
Yeah.
And then when her aesthetic changes when she's a regent at the end of the film again, and it's more
her regent
traditional.
outfit was exactly right.
I was
flow. Yes. The costumes were telling a story and very little else was.
So Mother Ginger comes into the room. Clara enters the machine room. She shuts down the machine while fighting off the soldiers. Mother Ginger, she comes to her aid. The Sugar Plum Fairy ultimately figures out some shit's going back down in the machine room. So she flutters her little wings. And the second time we ever see her wings ever. She comes back and then she's like, stop. No, don't. And then, please.
Mama, I'm a fairy now.
So then she basically traps Mother Ginger and is like, I'm going to turn you first back into a damn toy.
Right.
Meanwhile, Clara has been doing this little reversal on the machine to make it do something else.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what you're even talking about, and I watched it today.
Well, she changes the thing so that
the direction,
which is an allusion to when the swans were moving in the beginning. In the beginning, when she fixes the thing in
you're being
Drosselmeyer's.
Very kind. Sure, I guess so. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
looking. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Mother Ginger is like about to like get it. And Clara comes out, which I like this little moment where Clara, she doesn't let Sugar Plum like just go ahead and do it. She tries to get Sugar Plum. She gives her one last chance to like stop doing it on her own.
Yeah.
She appeals to her and she's like, "Don't do this. My mother wouldn't have wanted this." And Sugar Plum Fairy is like, "I don't care. She's not here anymore. She dead."
And like she abandoned me.
She pushes the button to zap Mother Ginger back into a porcelain doll, but instead, the machine tilts upward and zaps Sugar Plum, and she gets turned back into a doll. And Mother Ginger is saved, and all of the tin soldiers magically
Yes, I was going to say how convenient, right? Like somehow they're if you are connected like that to all of the beings that you have created, then we've got a whole nother set of rules in this world that we also haven't followed in other ways. So it doesn't work.
Because in that case,
they all should have died when Marie died.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Clara would have walked into a world full of dead bodies.
Just corpses. It would have been terrible.
Actually, that kind of would have been your favorite movie too. That the little girl staring at the dead body in the haunted mansion would have been like,
take me there.
Clara in the 4 realms of corpses.
Yeah, so very convenient, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So Mother Ginger, she's saved. Peace has been restored to the realms. Clara promises to visit them in the future, and then she returns back to London, where time has hardly passed at all since she left. She approaches her father, apologizes for her earlier behavior, and asks him to dance. He accepts, and she opens her music box when he becomes emotional, and the song plays. What he says is the first song that he and Marie ever danced to.
So I'm like, are you the Nutcracker Prince?
Yes. I was like, wait, are you the Nutcracker Prince?
But
and she took you out of there, but he's not.
No.
Because we don't believe in love in this.
Okay, listen to me. That could have been interesting, where she's disconnected from her father in the real world, and he's the Nutcracker Prince in this other world, and suddenly they're like buddies and adventure pals, and that's what helps her connect with her father when she comes back. I can get into that.
Yeah, like
that's good.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to tell that story, but then that story is not the same as like her finding herself. Then it's a father-daughter story.
No.
But I think that actually would have been really cool.
It would have been cool.
Like she goes into this world and like something happens and then all of a sudden like her father like is like, I know where she is. Or like he's getting memories back or something like that. Like, very kind of like Hook-esque.
Right.
Like Peter Pan getting his memories back. Like not having a recollection of this at all.
Right.
And then using it as a way to like, then he is using it as a way to stay in touch with her mother, where he's been like avoiding grieving the mother, where it's like, no, you need to embrace it.
Or it's like, yeah, that's the thing. That was a land they both were in touch with in some way, and he can't bear to like go there now that she's gone. And Clara is the one who brings him back there, which also, you know, if we're going with the source material version of like the Nutcracker is usually older and Clara's a girl, it works out perfectly. It's like her alternate
and then
father.
We could have done something with like a mouse steals the key or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Mouse King like captures her and starts pulling her into the realms, and you could have a battle between like her father and the Mouse King. And then that's when we were realizing, oh, father is the Nutcracker. I think Matthew McFadden as a Nutcracker would have just been like, baller.
Take my money. Yeah, that would have been fantastic. And then we could have played around with the Sugar Plum Fairy being something else really interesting. Who knows what? But yeah, it just opens up the options.
And so then they dance and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
I love the end credits of this film.
Oh, great. Thank you for bringing it up.
We get another ballet sequence.
Yes. I even love the animations once we get to the actual credits rolling. I'm like, I love these, but these are from a different movie, as is Fall on Me. Fall on Me has promised me an entirely different movie.
Well, Fall on Me, again, the song is a duet between a father and son.
Right.
It's a duet. And Clara's story has been pretty much a solo one. I think Fall on Me would make even more sense to be associated with a story between a father and a daughter.
Absolutely, because then it's also like they're both people grieving, and it's like, fall on me, I'll fall on you. Like we'll get through it together. Like when we feel like we can't go on through this, we will together.
I would not be surprised if Ashley Powell, who wrote this, was like, yeah, no, I wrote this as a father-daughter
Oh my God.
thing. And then the studio was like, no, we need a strong female character,
Yeah.
like put Claire at the
But
center.
we're still gonna have the Nutcracker, quote unquote, look at her longingly enough that I was like, okay, they're trying not to do a romance, but I bet you he's gonna grab her hand, he's gonna kiss her hand or kiss her on the cheek. Nope. We just had him stare at her. And I'm like, I know what you're trying to say, so just do it. Have him do it. Even if she's not interested, he can still have feelings for her because he clearly does.
And I'm
weird.
just like, they could have solved that issue if that was something that they didn't want to do. If they didn't want to go into the romance route, they could have solved that issue entirely by making the Nutcracker her father.
Mm-hmm.
Because then there's none of that. And maybe he's confronting, like, having left the realm and realizing that he's doing the same thing with his children, where he's like leaving them in their time of grief.
And the heart of the whole story is like a transformation. And like, I feel like that's like a lot of what grief is. And she's transformed in the way she views her father. So it's just a very clean connecting line between those things.
You could even do a thing where, like, he slowly is starting to turn back into a Nutcracker, and he needs to go to the realms in order to
That's what happens in my book.
restore the magic.
He's constantly like going back and forth between his real form and a Nutcracker, which is a very interesting thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Once Upon a Time, because that's one of the things that happens with Pinocchio is like he's starting to turn wooden again. Right. As the magic is like leaving.
But we've completely ignored the Nutcracker of it all in this, so it doesn't even matter.
And it's in the title.
Yes, because they had to tell. Because at first I was like, call this Clara and the Four Realms, but nobody would know what it was, and I don't think it mattered anyway. And Fall on Me, yes, I love it as like this is the end credit song about this father-daughter story. I'm in 100%. But again, it's another thing that inherently is romantic. It sounds romantic.
It's why I thought it was between Andrea Bocelli and his young lover nurse.
I know. Dan, I think didn't you say at one point you're like, this could totally be a candidate for a song at my wedding? And I was like, I'm on board with you.
Right now, it is like literally, if I ever marry, Fall on Me is low key like a major contender for a wedding song for me.
Yeah, so the end credits, there are just pieces of this whole thing. I think this is that's a perfect way to sum it up. It's like there are just pieces of this, and we'll never know. There's some hidden thing here with reshoots. There are pieces of this that feel so right on the right track, and then they just get completely muddled.
Yeah.
And it comes out in dribs and drabs in these like glorious costumes, in this use of the score from the ballet, in this beautiful sweeping end credits music. It's just like, what movie is that? Because I want to see that movie.
In the like concept art, the production design, the
and
images
even the trailer.
of it all.
But again, it's a different movie. It's a movie about a girl figuring out who she is and blah blah blah.
And I'm just like, we did that. We did that with Alice in Wonderland. And Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, we are going to talk about this at some point because it's been on my list for a while to talk about this film.
I know, yeah.
Because I thoroughly enjoy Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. And I think it was executed really, really well. And it just feels like this is trying to be that. And I'm like, we don't need to because we already did it.
And where this falls, again, in the timeline of Disney is right around the time when folks started being like, Disney has abandoned romance. Disney doesn't want to do romance anymore. And that feels like that's what's happening here. And it's sad because a Disney sweeping, adventurous, romantic, fantastical version of the story of the Nutcracker is completely 1000% something I want to see.
Yeah.
Like that article that I also read the same thing. That's like, maybe it was because of a lack of interest in the Nutcracker property. I just don't see that being the case. I think ballets are excellent source material for animated films, Disney films. It's the choice. It's a great choice.
Because there is no there's a story, but there is no like
Right.
dialogue or anything.
Right.
So you really can do whatever you want with it. And because it's dance and dance is interpretive, there are a million different ways in which you can read even the same story or interpret it through dance. That's why choreography changes. You can change moments just in the way that people are dancing.
Yeah.
So it feels even more so than writing a story down, more universal, because it's not contained by language and letters. It's contained by movement. It's a different thing.
Yeah. This just makes me want to, maybe on stage, maybe a book. I don't know. Mom wants me to make this happen.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
I really
like,
want it to happen.
I'm kind of surprised that Disney did not attempt to make an animated feature
I was going to say the
with the
same thing.
with the Nutcracker as
Yes.
source material.
Yes, I totally agree. It's kind of obvious to me. I even think about, my God, the Steadfast Tin Soldier is one of my favorite things, like,
Beautiful.
on this actual planet. On the planet. I love
Beautiful.
it so much. And it manages to, like, be the story, be kid-friendly, but also is so poignant and heartbreaking. And I feel like a Disney version of the Nutcracker could be all of those things. And I really think that Disney kind of needs something like this in the lineup that's actually good. Because there's a lot of Christmas, but again, it's either like, it's like Frozen. We love this, so maybe I'm biased, but it's like Frozen version of Christmas, or it's the Santa Claus, or it's like Prep and Land. There's nothing living in this world, and I think Disney needs to fill in this gap in the Christmas programming that is this.
Where it's like, this is a story that takes place around Christmas, but is not about making the holiday happen.
Exactly.
The holiday just exists. This is a story that takes place at this time of year.
Yeah.
Not about this
it.
time of year.
Yep, 100%. I know that I am always putting my romance agenda on things, but this is just, it's already, and I think, again, what you were saying earlier was so great. The capital R romantic applies to a potential father-daughter story about grief.
Yes.
Which I think is beautiful. Beautiful.
Because you know what? And I think there's a perfect example of this in musical theater. It's bonkers, but something that takes source material that is not about this and turns it into it being about this is Beetlejuice the musical. It takes the story of Beetlejuice, the film, and turns it into being all about the relationship between a father and a daughter around grief of a parent.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of the way that you got to do this, where it's like, if we're not doing the Nutcracker, what other story are we telling with it? And it has to be about some sort of relationship, because
this isn't about a relationship at all. Yeah.
Even the original Nutcracker, you could say it is about the relationship. It's the relationship between Clara and this Nutcracker. Like, it is about this love for it. Like, the story ends with, like, Clara saying, like, she would swore to protect this Nutcracker until the day that she dies.
And it almost feels like in some ways it's almost about her and Drosselmeyer too.
And I think that they've tried to just be like, we're going to strip it all away, and this is just about Clara. But then that's not the Nutcracker. That's a Clara origin story.
It's Clara and the Four Realms.
Or it's just Clara. But like, you're not telling the story of the Nutcracker. And if you're telling the story of Clara that is not Clara and the Nutcracker, the events of the Nutcracker have to take place as we know them. Does that make sense? Where it's like, if we're doing sort of like an origin story, like a character study of a particular character, the thing that we are leaping off from in order to tell that story, we need to maintain as it is as a reference point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So if we are telling a Clara origin story or something like that, it has to be that the events of the Nutcracker take place as written in the fairy tale, in the story, in the ballet, with all of the romantic things involved.
Or if you want to give me a Clara origin story, let's say we're doing that and we're playing around with it a little, and the events of the Nutcracker ballet as we know them haven't happened yet. So we're just focusing on her origin story in some way. I guess then we're not going to the fantastical world, so it's canceled out, but just go with me. Then we can make this more of a series and have her age so that you feel more comfortable once the events of the Nutcracker happen, having it be a romance, because we've seen other aspects of her character first. We have her origin story. We've established what we're trying to do with her here, which is her being a strong young woman and, like, you know, then we could, and if you want to break the rules, then maybe the Nutcracker events, maybe she has been there before. Maybe she's just never met the Nutcracker prince. I don't know.
And see, that's exactly why Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland is so good, is because it is referencing Alice in Wonderland. The events of Alice in Wonderland, as we know them, have taken place. Alice just has no memory of any of it.
100%. Yep.
So it's like we now have a vocabulary. We have a common language of this world because we already know how it is because we're using things we bring to it. We can't really bring much to this Nutcracker world because we don't know who the Nutcracker is. We don't know. There's nothing.
Because we didn't even get to see any of them as toys in her real life. Because then we have at least a tenuous connection to them.
And I will say, a lot of people have claimed that this is sort of a trap of trying to adapt this story in that these realms, the land of sweets, the land of flowers, the land of snowflakes, the land of amusements, they aren't there. There's, when you look at like the ballet of the Nutcracker, basically all of the action takes place in like the first act, and then they get into the land of snowflakes, and then it's just like a whole bunch of dances as the court is presenting themselves to Clara. And
which is what happens. Like people think about Swan Lake and they think about Swan Princess the movie, but so much of Swan Lake is a bunch of different nations presenting themselves to Prince Siegfried. Like that's what it's a ballet. What do you want? Like
and it's like we want to show off different styles of dance. We want to show off different styles of music.
We did and we shoehorned that into Swan Princess with the ball, but it was perfect.
Princess is on parade. We've got it.
Oh my God.
But the trap of this is that it's very loosey-goosey from the beginning. These realms are all they are kind of weird and disjointed. And so a lot of people are like, well, this was always going to happen because of this. But I don't think that's true.
You can make the rules. It's your it's your adaptation of it. It's your film. You can make it less loosey-goosey. You can.
Yeah. I'm like, we can find a through line between snowflakes, flowers, sweets, and amusements. If those were the four things that originated within the original story, clearly somebody saw something that connects all of them together. If anything, it's Christmas that brings them all together.
Yeah.
Snow, flowers, some beautiful garlands and things like that. Sweets and amusements.
Right.
Those are like the four principles of Christmas, a Christmas party.
Sure.
It baffles me, I think, when for as imaginative as our industry and our business is supposed to be, how much of a lack of imagination there is.
Very interesting. Yep. Especially with such strong source material.
And I feel bad for Ashley Powell because I don't necessarily think that this film is the story that she wanted to tell. It reeks of studio involvement.
We might have to get her. We need to talk to her.
I would like to talk to her.
I actually would really like to know.
Well, now you've seen the Nutcracker and the Four
in the moments when I turned off my brain and I stared at it, I mean, I had a good enough time. You know me. I love a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's another Nutcracker story.
Yeah.
Because there aren't that many mainstream versions of the Nutcracker that are narrative in a way that like isn't just the ballet.
This might be the jumping off point for me. I might have to take this into my own hands.
I kind of was hoping you would say that because as someone, listen, you all, as someone who has seen, heard, and read Caroline's writing and style of writing, the Nutcracker is so perfectly your aesthetic. Write that down.
Is today the day?
And then you can say like in the history of like how it's happening, you'd be like, I was radicalized after watching the Nutcracker in the Four Realms
and reading A Quart of Sugar and Friggin' Spice.
Happy birthday.
I mean, it's been long enough. Every year at Christmas, you're always like, have you watched it yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't. This is when it needed to happen. And we needed to be able to hop on and talk about it directly afterwards. So I'm so glad that we did. It was fun to talk about it. It was fun to talk about it with you. Because this wasn't the kind of thing where I was like, oh, I abhor this. It's just like, no, it's like the kind of thing that you and I love to dissect. So it was fun.
And there's something like, even when I was reading like the negative reviews of this as I was prepping just the loose background information, everything, I was feeling very protective of it. I was just like, no. And when they're
Because
like,
this very much could have been our thing. Like, it has
Yes,
us
and
written
when-
all over it in
when
a lot
they're
of
like,
ways.
there's a lack of interest in the Nutcracker, and I'm like, that's
Wrong,
not true.
incorrect.
I'm like, that's not. I'm
Wrong.
like, how can you say there's a lack of interest in the Nutcracker when every fucking year, every ballet company across the
there's
United States
that's such a
is
silly
producing?
statement.
I'm like, everyone is looking for the Nutcracker.
It's another fairy tale for us. People, it's still a fairy tale. There's interest, trust me.
It's a Christmas fairy tale that's not Rudolph, Frosty, Santa Claus, or Jesus.
Right.
Like,
Right.
thank you.
Yes. We're
Because
interested.
those ones, we know them all. We know those ones really, really
My
well.
fingers are itching. I might have to do something about this. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It's going to keep me up tonight for sure. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate you
We
being
do.
here. If you liked this episode, make sure that you hit follow or subscribe wherever you're getting the podcast. Opt in for those notifications on YouTube. And then this is that moment. Hit 5 stars, leave a written review, leave a comment as a happy birthday present
Please.
to our dearest Caroline, who may or may not be embarking on redoing an entire Nutcracker story for
Potentially.
posterity, because it needs to be done, and
Yeah.
she's probably the one to do it. So, and then also make sure that you share this with somebody. We hope that this episode has kept you company for a little bit over the holiday season and maybe exposed you to a film that you really never thought that you were going to ever watch. But
Exactly. I hope
now
that
you
somebody
have.
stumbles across this somewhere and they're like, I was kind of hoping somebody would talk about this. I think I watched that once. That's why
Yeah.
we're here.
and people talking about it who aren't just going to like sit there and bash on it the whole time and talk about what could be good about it. So share this with somebody who you think would enjoy that perspective.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, we have also created a playlist of all of our holiday themed episodes.
Yes.
So you can go to our website, poorunfortunatepodcast.com, click on listen, and the playlist is curated for you right there. Or you can head over to our YouTube channel, and it's a playlist on our YouTube. So
Yeah. So if
You
you
can-
missed
you
the
can get all of
game of
those.
yes and no, we have a bunch for you. Okay.
I can guarantee you probably will,
You will not
forget.
remember. I
You
could
will not
play
remember.
that. I could play that fresh today. I wouldn't remember a damn thing. That's what we should have done.
I could just
Man.
read. I could
You
just
could read
give
me
you
the same ones, and I'd be like, I have no idea what this is. And another great birthday present for me, if you have not done this yet, would be to follow us on social media. We are at Poor Unfortunate Podcast everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. We would love to talk about Nutcracker in the Four Realms with you. So, like, leave us a comment, send us a DM. We'll make some content around this to get the conversation going. And it's just the way to grow the podcast these days as we bring more opportunities to you all that we hope you've been enjoying. People want to see who's looking at our stuff. So it just goes a long way. It's a free way for you to help us out. And so we thank you so much for that. And if you want even more Poor Unfortunate podcast in your life, please join either our private Facebook group or our Discord channel, the Poor Unfortunate Fam. So that is where our listeners gather to talk about the episodes, talk about a range of other subjects that we've all found we have in common, which is so much fun. And it's just a fantastic way for Connor and I to find out who's out there listening and what you're interested in, so we can keep bringing you what you love about Poor Unfortunate Podcast. So we hope to see you there.
And if you're looking for merch, the Poor Unfortunate shop is open, poorunfortunatepodcast.com/shop. And as I always say, it does take us a little bit of money to keep the podcast up and running and coming to you. We do have a PayPal account linked in our episode description and in the website links in our social media accounts. Anything you have to spare goes a long way for us. It could be $1, $5, $10, more than that. One-time donation, monthly donation, it all just goes right back into the podcast, helping us keep it free. And to all of our monthly donors who have been donating to this all year long, whether you've been here for a month, whether you've been here from the beginning,
Thank you.
thank you. We are not able to do this without you. And I hope that some of you who have been enjoying the podcast thus far will consider in the new year, if you have a little bit extra that you might be able to throw our way. It helps us so much. It helps us so much. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
All right. We hope you have a happy and safe Christmas and holiday season.
Happy holidays, you all. We love you.
And Caroline, happy birthday.
Thank you. I have a feeling it's going to be a really good birthday.
Yeah, this one's going to be a good year. It has to, right?
Yeah, because I'm writing the Nutcracker.
There you go. Stay tuned for this time next year. We'll see. Maybe we'll do our Christmas
we'll do the
rose will
first
be a reading.
read-through.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's what it'll be.
See you there. 365 days.
All righty. Thanks so much for joining us. We will be back soon with another episode. And until then,
Beluga
Beluga Sevruga.
Sevruga.